Yo, Shell Squad, good to see you. Thanks for hanging in there. I do got videos coming, just been horribly busy, especially with the increase in the amount of turtles I got that I need to share with you guys when I get a chance. But in the meantime, I wanted to share today, I just got this in, it's a Fluval FX6 because I wanted to talk about filtration for your turtle setups. Your turtles are going to need a lot of filtration, even more than this usually. So what I've been using lately is the FX5 and the FX6. I like them because they hold enough media for me. The baskets could be bigger, but I just throw a bunch of extra media on the bottom of the tank or pond or whatever you're using, because you can use them when the turtles are big and even when they're small. So a lot of people say small filter for small turtles. What kind of filter should I get? I always recommend getting something you're not going to have to keep repurchasing. I don't like reinventing the wheel, stocking a bunch of items. Look behind me. I got no space, man. What I do is I get one of these FX filters by Fluval. They have a flow regulator, so a lot of people think there's too much flow, too little flow. This one at max flow is 400 US gallons. That's 1,500 liters. And then it says it pumps about 925 US gallons per hour, which equivalents to about 3,500 liters per hour. And that's all going to depend on how dirty your filter is or how much media you pack it with. But as is, it should pump about that much volume. And if you're going with adult setups that can swim well, you're not worried about them getting sucked into the intake, then I go with full flow, and I do that with all my adult setups. It's very pricey, but if you have the money, it's a good luxury. There's a lot of DIY filters out there. I don't opt for the DIY filters because I've tried a few, and they just always seem to have issues. I do have one that I like to piggyback off of these FX6s or FX5 even, and I'm going to share that. I'm going to share that with you in a future video. But just by turning down the flow rate, you can use this filter for almost any type of setup. I'm always checking, especially when they're young, making sure all the fittings are together, because the one thing that I don't like about this filter is the fittings are just, they just fit in. So you can just pull them apart as well. Say a turtle gets caught in one or one breaks loose, now you just have an intake hose that's sucking in water, and it's easy for a turtle limb or turtle head to get stuck in there, and now they can't get out and they will die. I've seen it happen. It's a very sad story, and that's the danger of having filters, especially if you're running it at a very high flow rate. So with the young ones, I run it really low, and as they grow and get stronger, I just go ahead and start increasing the flow rate so that this filter can do a better job for my animals. Always making sure the seals are tight. It's possible to actually take a screw and screw after you seal it. You can actually screw it in to make sure they don't come apart, which I've also done in the past. But what I found is the parts eventually will start to break, and then they don't even seal well, and you have to keep screwing them in and eventually order more parts. But that's fine too. I just find that getting my hands in there and dealing with the preventing the issue seems to work well for me. I also want to show you guys how to clean this if that's something you guys are interested in, how I clean it anyways. If you're looking for cheaper options, I am going to experiment with another filter. It's one of those cheap ones on Amazon. It's a canister filter that also filters about half of what this does, and it's under $100. And it comes with the media. I'll keep you posted. If it's something I would stand by and recommend you guys, I'll let you know. So this filter I think cost me roughly around $375. Sometimes they're on sale. It's a big price to swallow, but if you want to do a DIY filter, again, you can probably get better performance than one of these filters at half the price. That's a project you're willing to invest and work in, by all means, and the bigger you make it, it's just going to be so much better. I don't have that time, and I've just relied on these. I've used them for a long time. They've lasted, I've been using them, well over 10 years. I have no idea. When they first came out, I got them when the FX5s first came out. I still have them. I've never had any issues with them. Okay, I take that back. Sometimes the motor doesn't run, but it's usually, I'm not sure what it is, but I just pull it apart, clean it, put it back together, and then it starts working again fine. That's usually like once a year. But other than that, the filters they just keep working for me. I have no problems with them. So I'm recommending them to you guys. This is the newer one. I have all FX5. This is the FX6, so I'm pretty excited to use the newer model, but they're all fine. In fact, you could probably find the FX5 cheaper used, and if you can find one under $100, that's probably going to be your best bet. Even cheaper than, save you a lot of time, save you a lot of planning from the DIY stuff. That's a quick tip for you guys on turtle filters. If you find any of that helpful at all, go ahead and hit that like button. If I see that there's, you know, enough people that like this kind of material on the channel, I'll go ahead and I'll just start showing everything I do around my turtles, how I care for them. So right out of the box, I do want to say it did come with a little bit of media. These plates kind of stack in here. This one came with a coarse filter and another coarse filter, and that's on the top. And then this was on the bottom. It's a pretty fine filter here. And I'm just happy that there was at least some media in here. I mean, they charged way too much for media. And here are the nozzles. I don't find that this fits on only smaller size tanks, so I don't really use these like this. And here is where you see the flow meter. You can see that if you turn it counterclockwise, you will have less flow or no flow. So if you turn it clockwise, you'll have more flow. And it's labeled in and out, so you know which one's doing which jobs. These are a little rubbery and squishy, and those are gonna sit on here. They're gonna go right over there, hose clamps. So that's gonna go over this and this to make sure they don't come apart. This is for storing media. So one difference from the 5 and the 6 is now this thing is telescoping, or I don't know what you call it, but now it can retractable or whatever. It doesn't screw out, it just comes out, so it can fit whatever size you're using, or smaller enclosures, which is pretty cool. What the heck are these for? It's supposed to fit most aquarium cabinets if you are using this for kind of like an aquarium setup for your turtle. Just make sure you look at the dimensions. And these are the dimensions for your convenience. As you can see, this is a very filthy tank. FX6 right here, and let's go ahead and see how it works. Wow, look at that flow. Looks really good. You can see that the flow is felt all the way here, and it's sucking. And this is how I hooked it up. You have to put these little clamps on there. And now you can see here why you adjust the flow. So as you move this thing, as you rotate it, you start to choke off the flow. So that's how it works. Nothing too special there, but I like what I'm seeing here. There's a lot of flow, I got the dirtiest. I fed turtles in this thing for like a while, and it's dirty. And I'd be very happy to see how much time it takes to clean this. Overall, in 15 minutes, it's looking way better. And look, one of our local neighborhood friends came out to say hello. This is what I'm talking about. I leave all the media down there. So I got some crushed coral. I got some lava rocks. And because sometimes I do deep water changes, that kind of kills all the bacteria on the bottom. I got these bricks in there, and they house like even deeper bacteria, so there's always a good source of replenishing the bacteria in the tank. So, all right, feeding time. The tank looks great. It's beautiful, clean. All the food's floating everywhere. We're gonna clean that up again. All it took was about an hour or so, which means that this 80-gallon tank got turned over, I don't know, at least 10 times. All right, cheers. If you made it this far, thank you very much. And hey, Shell Squad is strong. I'll see you in the next one.